I I messed that up again. As per the usual. What else is new? Ooh, I'm like talking for 20 minutes with no mic on. Hello. Your auntie is really old. 107. Hello. Let me have a sip of my tea because it's been a long day. How was your Saturday night? I also want to take this opportunity to thank you all, new subscribers. Thank you, future subscribers, and thank you, current subscribers. I love it. You are all fabulous people. And what else would we all be but be our fabulous selves? Because, we don't know any better but to be fabulous. And darlings, before I forget, remember to leave grace for others, even though, you like you're driving in traffic and somebody cuts you off, or like just some random person starts like swerving because they're on the phone. Ugh. Try to remember to leave grace for them and for everybody else. And to never forget to journey in gratitude. At 107, I feel like I have journeyed so many times in this here life of mine. But journey continues on, and I want to always remember and share with you guys to always journey in gratitude. Some journeys are not always going to be easy. Some journeys are going to be full of picturesque mountains and hills and valleys. And sometimes the journey may be just full of dark clouds. But regardless, let's remember to journey in gratitude. And on that note, let's go talk about this whole shenanigan of Jeannie Mai versus Jeezy, from lovey dovey to messy messy. I know I did like a blip on them and a couple videos yeah, just a couple of videos ago or so. And so, look, we're doing a slightly more deeper dive into these two messy split. Jeannie Mai and Jeezy, raise your hands if you saw these two heading for Splitsville. That's fine, I can wait. Mm-hmm. I see hands over there. Ooh, I see hands there. I see now the hands are starting to go up. Okay, I see. I'm counting and I'm still counting. And these hands, keep them in the air because, oh, hello. Wow, child. A whole lot of hands. Okay, then, sure. Might run out of room on this blackboard. But anywho, these two are still trying to outdo each other in the mess department. Like, first, GC files for divorce from Jeannie Mai sometime in September and subsequently filed for full custody of their little cutie Monica, which he amended to say he wanted joint custody some weeks later or something like that. For her part, Jeannie Mai has also been sharing her thoughts on this divorce by appearing shocked and confused by it. Of course, people will take sides because, they always do. And the fans, of course, the fans will be fanning the flames to excuse the behavior of Jeezy and Jeannie Mai herself, resulting in this divorce of theirs. So let's get into that a bit. We've seen how Jeezy has been um, super in love with toting around his now estranged wife, Jeannie, everywhere. I mean, if there was a red carpet shindig happening somewhere, he'd make sure he had her on his arm to show off. Well, provided he's invited. Okay. You don't want to show up uninvited now? Shan't. Anywho, some folks who are diehard fans of Jeezy claim that the reason why he divorced, or one of the reasons why he divorced Jeannie, was that he was fed up with the living situation because apparently Jeannie and her family, her brother and her mom, stay with them in their marital home. So I think the mom and the brother help out with watching their child, Jeannie and Jesus' child. So, you have like a built in babysitter, right? But if that fact is true, though, that Jeezy felt that way, that should have never been a surprise to begin with. I really couldn't imagine anyone in this day and age getting engaged or even like thinking about marrying someone without fully knowing their partner's living situation. I really don't. I mean, wouldn't you have asked? Just in the same way you would want to know, right? Like what their financial standing is. You'd ask where they live, where they work, who lives with them, where they park their head at the end of the night. Honestly, for someone who has had his fair share of having children with different women, I'm sure this question and some more have come up. Like, why would you want to marry someone if their living situation is sus to you? I'm totally not buying it, Jeezy. We do have smoke for Miss Jeannie Mai because honestly, a lot of people already knew this, and I'm sure she did too. That Jeezy is not exactly an angel, okay? So why would you want to jump into a relationship with him in the first place? Did he like just wake up and turned into the devil from the night before? I mean, child, that person changed their spots, okay? Sure, she was doing the rounds promoting Jesus' book while he was dropping not so veiled hints that he was going to file or had already actually filed for divorce, but I still don't believe the shock that Jeannie Mai is um, lugging around town. Like, she is so shocked that, he would file for divorce from her. Like, girl, hello now. Come now. You know what they say about women's intuition, right? And Miss Jeannie Mai is Vietnamese. She, Vietnamese women, they are not for the faint of heart. No, sir, and no, ma'am. She may have been reared in the US of A, but she still is a Vietnamese woman who's likely had the culture instilled in her, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the ugly is just going to get uglier from the looks of it. Because if GC thought seeking joint custody would appease Jeannie Mai, no, sir. No, ma'am. She has ripped that wound wide open with her claws, and she's letting the world know what a heavy handed partner Jeezy has been with her. She is outright accusing Jeezy of putting his hands on her, and no, not in a protective kind of way, okay? Allegedly, per Jeannie, she suffered physically during their marriage, courtesy of Mr. Jeezy. Heil, look, she should have been surprised then with the divorce. If her stories are to be believed, was she hoping she'd get another iteration of her now ex husband who's probably having the time of his life, having been there, done that with her? And definitely not trying to go back. Was GC hoping for the romanticized, submissive, traditional Asian woman he's likely heard about from whatever source he heard it from? Well, look, if they were trying to get whatever they were trying to get from each other and thinking like I can change his character and I can change her character, both of y'all, both of y'all didn't get, definitely didn't get what y'all were wanting out of each other. Is this the divorce? Is your divorce the form of getting a refund on your purchase? Hashtag asking for a friend. Anyhow, swinging back around to the Jeannie Mai allegations of domestic physical assault against her. She claims to have been physically harmed, but decided to seek counseling with their pastor and therapist and to continue to be married to him after the various instances Jeannie claims she's been through at the hands of Jeezy. I mean, mm, you know, mm, did she not have two coins to her name when she married Jeezy? I'm just wondering because she seems like a very strong willed woman and doesn't strike me as someone who would actually stick around to be dribbled around whenever mood strikes Jeezy, allegedly. I hope she's not just throwing mud across the field to Jeezy just to like top his shenanigans against her. Okay, look, I'm sorry, but it sounds like the quote unquote abuse was something she was willing to overlook until he tried to get her to the edge of the cliff by filing for custody of their child. Like, okay, granted, she should, of course, fight for her custodial rights herself, right? But again, going off of what Jeannie has shared publicly about suffering at the hands of Jeezy, even in, she dropped instances where she recalls having just had a baby and getting the heavy hand against her person from Jeezy. Like, girl, why didn't you try to leave then? I'm just curious, or at the very least, file a restraining order against him. If the welfare of the child was foremost in your mind, I'm curious to know what would have been the straw to actually leave him. What would have made it um, that last drop in the bucket that made it overflow for you, for Jeannie? I'm curious about that. Was it the case of wanting to do better and not be shamed with another failed relationship? Because again, she had divorced her vanilla husband for a bad boy type. So it's like, you didn't want the vanilla husband. You got the bad boy, and you really got the bad boy. So, look, I hope the hotel where Jeannie claims to have been publicly harmed by Jeezy still maintains their logbooks and CCTV camera footage. Because, I mean, she said it is the Ritz, so I'm sure they still keep it, right? I don't know what their retention period is, what their policy is in retaining these things, but of course, there's always the reasons we aren't publicly privy to, too. Like, why Jeannie wanted to stay or work things out with Jeezy or vice versa. Look, your lawyers are definitely going to be in the middle, laughing themselves all the way to the bank in this madness. Whew, they're like, yes, honey, cash that check, and cash that check. Still, in the end, in all of this mess, all this mudslinging, all this pain and suffering each of them are trying to incur against each other, all of these will only haunt their child in the long run. Because the internet is here to stay, and my lord, it is not for the faint of heart, especially for those in the public eye. These two need to grow a pair and amicably split already. Like divorce each other once and for all. And learn to co parent for the sanity of your child together. And stop speaking ill of each other publicly. Period. Ugh. You too. Like, put a nail in it. Chase it already. Anywho, that is all we have for the Jeannie Mai and Jeezy continuing mess. Ooh, I have another one that I have to record, and that one is about Portia and Simon. Honestly, those two, I think like Portia and Simon is giving Jeannie Mai and Jeezy a run for their money and this divorce mess. Anyway, darlings, I shall see you there in the next um, video. And remember, you're all kinds of fabulous. And for you, darlings, who have not yet subscribed, would you want to be my YouTube friend and subscribe to my itty bitty channel? I am hoping to get 200 subscribers. That's my goal for now, is to get 200 subscribers. Wouldn't that be fabulous? Our fabulous tribe is growing, darlings. Okay, well, have a good night. If you're out going clubbing, hopefully you have a designated driver, and hopefully you have a friend who's, if you guys aren't gonna Uber together, hopefully you have a friend who's actually gonna stay sober. So just in case you get drunk or something, nothing untoward you happens while you're in a public transportation that such as a Lyft or an Uber. Okay? Wouldn't want to have that happening to anybody. Alrighty then. Toodaloo for now. Bye.